Matt, are you ready to roll?
It depends. Is it Kaiser? Is it pumpernickel? Am I sitting there and am I role playing? Is it Tootsie? Is it toilet paper, paper towel? Did I miss something along the way?
Let's
Um,
just roll with that.
okay. And not like Limp Biscuit where it's rolling, rolling, rolling.
So, for anybody who doesn't know Matt, Matt is a grown 5-year-old. He and I are a little bit too similar. Dad jokes are free, so we like to give them to the world. I'm going to introduce you properly, Matt, and then I'll let you go off on the amazing things. Matt Roseman is an experienced IT specialist. Matt has a strong focus on developing sustainable software solutions and delivering a comprehensive range of technology services, including both desktop and mobile support. With a client-centered approach, Matt collaborates with individuals and businesses from the very beginning to ensure their specific needs are met, offering innovative ideas, effective strategies, and scalable solutions for a successful deployment. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been quite interesting to say the least. And I had the pleasure of speaking with you yesterday and helping people in terms of the IT side of being an author, whether it comes to the process of where do you go to for sources. And so one of the things I elaborated yesterday was you have a plethora of resources, whether it be searching for things online, using YouTube to find your tools that you need, or even invoking AI now into your methodology to get you to where you need to be, with obviously everything having its niche, everything having its pros and cons, and then figuring out, what feels right for you and what's going to be best suited for you based on who you are and your audience and your niche. Even we discussed, Amazon and, Kindle publishing and things like that. But IT is the most important aspect because that's how you do your work. If your IT or your tech tools or tech toys have more issues than getting the new iPhone 15 Pro Max that just sold out today, then at that point you're going to sit there and have problems. So you're only as good as the processes in place and also how good your tech is. So if you're struggling with your technology, that will also interfere with your productivity and getting work done. Case in point, before I came on here today, I had a problem when I got home after eating lunch where my video card software was screwed up on my own machine, the one I'm presenting on now, and I noticed the lag there. And this was 15 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. So even I had to play tech to sit there and get my machine working, update my network card software, update my wireless card software, install Windows 11 update, reboot, and somehow be on here before 2 o'clock Eastern. So that was the bullshit that I went through just to be able to get to this point to present to you to do this. So I know firsthand what it's like to go through those pain points where you think everything's fine and you go to turn on and things are happening, and what do you do to get there? So just like for those of you who are authors who have to sit there and proofread your work, your chapters, check for plagiarism, legality, obviously continuity there. The concepts in technology are the same, where there's certain levels and certain chapters and table contents and the preference to sit there and get things done. So as much as I love doing it, it's a pain in the ass. And so it's never easy. And you have to assume that if it works, then you've gotten lucky. If it doesn't, don't be surprised. So just want to throw it out there to you. So technology is inherently mediocre, unfortunately. So just to make you aware of that. So where I want to pick up on from yesterday, where I left off of, is that Nancy, before she left, made a very good observation to me, and she's quite the expert in terms of websites for authors, is that, and I know some experience this morning, which will tie into what I'm about to talk about, is that for your website, you want to have a backup of your website. Because let's say the website goes down or has a problem, all that work and all that content, what do you do there to help back it up? And I can relate to this because I just did it this morning. I'm trying to get off a company called Thrive. They are overcharging me dramatically, and I hired somebody to make the migration. But the problem is he's never used SiteGround before, which is where I'm hosting it on, but he used GoDaddy forever. So even though I do IT, I haven't dealt with this because the companies always did the work for me. I never sat there and had to do the hand-holding myself. Now that I have to sit there and learn all this, I had to go through the learning curve with him. And so we had to figure out how to sign up, because SiteGround declined my Apple Card, but loved my Visa card instead. So I had to even get to the point where I couldn't pay for the damn thing, and then figure out how to migrate over the WordPress, get that working, get the plugin working, and find out that you can't migrate the WordPress until your domain is transferred. So we had to learn and figure out that. So just even though I do IT, it still was a learning curve to figure that out. And so how do I move over my website and not lose it? So that to me is very important, to sit there and get that process done. And there are online services that sit there and have. So just to throw it out there to you, there are a number of different sources you can pull from. You can pull from the web, and you can pull from YouTube to sit there and get things done. So let me go into that, and then we will sit there and take things from there. So if we go, let me share my screen here, and I'll give you a heads up on one of the things to sit there and do in terms of having the backup process work with you and for you, not against you. So here's a site that I found, and this here will sit there and go and allow you to go back up your website. And so this will automate the work for you, and then choose the variation that you sit there and want. Also, in case, God forbid, your site's hacked. Even today, when I had signed up for SiteGround, they said, okay, well, for $250 more a month, we can mod you from what's known as an injection, which is where somebody will insert malicious code into your site and then infect it, or they'll hijack it and then they'll take it away from you. So that never happened to me. I don't think I'm popular or large enough where they want to sit there and target me yet. Believe me, once I get there, I'll feel flattered for all the wrong reasons. So, but again, it is out there though. I just read today that MGM Grand in Vegas got hacked. So all the slot machines and everything that's going on there is all wonky. I mean, talk about not hitting 3 sevens in a row. So it's out there, and you have to assume that something can happen, because even though the company you use should be reliable, there's no one perfect method out there. So like this blocks attacks. DDoS stands for distributed denial of service, which means everybody hacks you at once, and then that's how they bring your site down. And that's happened plenty of times on the web before. So something like this would sit there and be very valuable to sit there and back up your site. And of course, they have wizards to help guide you through, almost like the 21st century of Dorothy, going down the proverbial website Yellow Brick Road. Don't ask me how I came up with that. I just did. So, and then things like, okay, well, here's how you back up your WordPress. And so,
what's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to show you how.
So hold on, let me stop sharing, and I'm going to sit there and share my sound. I learned that from yesterday. So if I go over here and optimize the video clip here, you can sit there and get a basic idea of how to sit there and back up your WordPress.
How to back up your WordPress website in just 5 minutes with a simple free plugin. So backing up your website simply means that you're saving a copy of your website at a designated date and time, so that if your website crashes or you aren't happy with some of the recent changes that you've made, you can restore the backup to recover your old website.
Yeah, and so here
come out of nowhere and for seemingly no reason. So it's always a good idea to back up your site. So my name is Dale McMahon,
basically,
and then go to
I
add new.
sit there and pull back a plugin.
So to do this from your WordPress dashboard, just simply go over to plugins and then go to add new. Now from here, we're going to go up to the search bar and type in a plugin called Updraft. And you'll see it right here. So now we're just going to click on Install Now and then click Activate.
So as you can see here, there are tools a lot of times within your site hosting company that will give you the ability to go back up or automate the backups. So if you look over here,
click on the Backup Now button.
Backup Now.
And then make sure these two boxes are checked and then just click on Backup Now.
Yeah, and then at that point, you can always sit there and schedule backup.
Manual to weekly. Same with the database backup. And then just set this to 4, which basically means that it'll take one backup every week and it'll only retain the last 4 weeks. That way you have an entire month worth of backups that you can go back to.
Yeah, so again, it helps to automate the work there, and again, scheduling it as well to make it easier for yourself. So I want to see it. Plus, obviously, if something goes wrong.
So let's say we goofed up and deleted our homepage, and now it looks like this. It's completely missing. Well, we can restore it back to normal by going back to our OneDraft plugin, scrolling down to our existing backups, and then going to an old backup and clicking on Restore.
So again, just like a computer, you could sit there and go and back up the WordPress, and then at that point have the peace of mind, because that's really what you're paying for. You're paying for the peace of mind to know that all the hours or tens of hours or hundreds of hours that you're putting in is not going to waste and won't be for naught, as the saying goes. So again, here's more different websites to back up. How do you do it? Backup service, how often to back up. Again, you don't have to know a lot about technology computers to know, to learn the basics on what to do. And again, PC Magazine's great. They have different hosting companies here. And then also backup programs here. FileZilla, for those of you more technical, the backup on an FTP server here. So again, there are other methodologies, that are here to sit there and to go, back up that or use a third party, which I recommend as well. So you have that here. Drop My Site's another one that I happen to find there. Never lose your data again. This is especially for GoDaddy people there. That's why they're prominently displayed as well. So that's another thing to sit there and look for in that respect. And again, here's going back to FileZilla there. So I even did this over here, even with YouTube here, how to back up your site. And there's tons of articles here on how to do it and what's going to work best for you based on who it is. So I really didn't sit there and have to do a lot of homework on this process, but I did enough where it makes it easy for me to know where to go and to use the sites that are built in to where I'm hosting at, or to get external ones that will sit there and do the work for me. And at some point, I'll be doing this for myself. So God forbid something happens, I have all the work that I saved somewhere else in the process there. So.
Question of a different nature. Days, if you look at the bottom right of your screen, there should be a blue button that says Leave Room, and it'll take you back to the main room, and then ask, I think Tasha's in there, just ask her to put you in room 2. All right. Sorry, Matt. Melody, have you met Matt? Oh.
I do it all the time, silly me. No, I haven't, Matt. Good to meet you. That was really interesting. I do have a WordPress website. So
Yay.
Yeah, it was good to see, how you back it up. I always get someone else to back it up for me, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's good to see that. So thank you. I have a question. As authors, what would you say, like backing up our website is really important. What would you say, like, it's a huge learning curve. So if I only was going to learn, 3 things, or if I was only going, I was going to send out tasks, 3 tasks, what are the most important things? Backing up my website, what else?
Well, it depends on what you define as important. Everything is perception versus perspective and open to interpretation.
Yeah.
So, is it just a site? Is it your books? Do you have e-commerce on there of some kind? Are you paying for like Stripe? Do you have all your books somewhere else? Whether it be a different cloud service, for example, like yesterday, just for the hell of it, I highlighted this. So let me open up Chrome and go over what was going on there. So Chrome, yeah, it was Chrome. All right, so let me do this here. Let me share again, and because that's actually a good question. So let me help you out with that. Come on, screen sharing. Okay, so if I go in here, like, are you backing up on things like Google Docs? Are you backing up on OneDrive, which is Microsoft service? Are you backing up on Dropbox? So again, how are you backing up other parts of your computer or even your work? So there's multitude of facets there that have to be considered for the backup. I mean, are your books all online, or are you sharing them with other people, or is there a separate area for your work? So all those things are important. So ultimately, Melody, it depends on what is important for you in terms of your priorities. So my priorities will be different from yours because I'm more on the IT side, you're more on the creative author side.
Right. No, and so, backup is important. I'm assuming security is important, right? So like having some kind of security on your computer. Is there anything else? Like I'm thinking more like big topics, Matt.
Okay.
Like back up your computer is a must. Have some kind of security so that your phone doesn't get hacked or whatever it is, and so what are the big 3 for you?
Well, there's a multitude of things. If we're taking away the author aspect and we're just looking at what is transpiring with technology in general, let me give you some basic guidelines. You're only as good as all of the dominoes that sit there and line up and don't fall, just when you hit one. So that's really what it is. The hardware can affect the software, but the software can affect the hardware too. So again, it's basically a catch-22 in that respect. So really, the important thing is this. I'm going to do a nerdy version of Drake. We're going to start from the bottom, and now we're here. So the most important thing is that the hardware is first. For example, I have a hardware firewall on my internet connection, which means that my internet connection comes from Comcast. I have a box to filter people from hacking into my devices, even things like my refrigerator or my smart TV, or my Amazon Echoes. Those are protected from people compromising them. So that is one level of protection there, where it's on the hardware side. And yes, I have computers and tablets and things like that have software, but on those things like a TV or a refrigerator, I can't install antivirus software or protect those things there. So that to me is the first line of defense. The second line of defense is what is on your devices going forward? Is there some type of malware or spyware or ransomware protection going forward on your device, whether it be Windows or Mac or Android or your iPhones, iPads, whatever. So that's one thing. The second thing is that, are your browsers secure? Because guess what? If your browsers are not secure, then that's also how you get compromised. Or are you using password managers? Password managers can get compromised. Or, because I'm not done yet, if you sit there and you autosave all your IDs and password, guess what? You can have all those defenses and somebody can still get into your browser and compromise your ID and password because you save it. So all they have to do is look for an open door or window in your car, your home, and get in. That's all it takes.
Thank you.
Yep. Wow, they're just dropping off like flies. I don't feel loved anymore. I felt so loved yesterday. Just a complete opposite story here.
Matt, it's
Uh,
because Rich isn't here.
Son of a bitch. That's why. Now it makes sense.
Melody, you should have Matt on your podcast. Fair warning, he is a smartass and he's very sarcastic, but
Why is I graduated?
you graduated. Awesome. As my 10-year-old will tell you, better that than a dumbass.
I agree. I totally agree.
But Melody, he'd be a great one. And yesterday, Matt had a bunch of tech that I've never even heard of, and a good reminder of Scrivener. Yes. And by the way, Matt, people will be watching this recording. So Melody,
Are you sure you want to torture them with more of me? I mean, should we just get like Dr. Phil and sit there and come intervene for these people?
love it. Well, it's funny. Janine and I were having a conversation, and Melody, chime in here. We've got 10 minutes, so we might as well have a little networking. It's fascinating, but I never once thought about the technology of writing. And Matt, don't judge me, but my very first book, somebody told me that I had to write it by hand. So I wrote my first book by hand, and I'm like, God, this sucks. I'm never doing this again. So Melody, what's your favorite tech? Because Matt's going to be in our world, but what are some of your favorite tech?
Yeah, it's so glad you asked. I actually have in my community a list of different tech for different reasons, right? So if you're planning a book, if you're producing a book, if you're publishing a book, and I think that you want to break down the tech in that regard. So some of my favorite tech for planning a book is a mind map. Mind map software like trying to think of one, Coggle, for example, just very simply just being able to mind map something out. And when you can do it on, have you ever, do you remember we used to mind map on paper, and you'd mind map and then you'd make a mistake and you'd scrunch it up and you'd get another piece of paper out and you'd mind map it, doing it online it's like mind mapping online is like magical, right? Because you didn't want that, move this, right? And so for planning a book, I love online mind maps. That's just one of my favorite.
Yeah, wouldn't it be like a Venn diagram?
You can use a Venn diagram if you want, but yeah.
Old school, huh?
Matt's sucking up. He knows that Venn diagrams are my favorite diagram, and I don't trust anybody who doesn't have a favorite diagram. But believe it or not, Melody, I used to use mind maps, and for some reason I forgot about them.
Yeah.
And about 2 weeks ago, I went, oh my God, what the hell's wrong with me?
Yeah. Mind maps. Yeah. So there's MindMaster, there's Ioya, there's Coggle, there's a bunch of mind map technology. And usually the first 3 mind maps or so are free. So I know lots of authors feel like they need to be on a budget. So it doesn't cost you anything to mind map. Airtable, or Trello. I should say Trello. I want to say Trello.
Yes, I've heard that before too.
Yeah.
Trello is like really good for outlining your book, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, the topics, and then so that's something else when you're planning a book. Trello is just absolutely awesome. I often recommend Trello. In fact, I have videos on my YouTube channel just about Trello, And then producing, Jeff, I'm with you. Produce in whatever way is easiest for you. Including, some people come to me and it's like, I'd like to write a book, but I can't write. I'm like, then talk it.
Yep.
It's technology. Record it, let it be transcribed, talk it. And then, I'm not a great writer. Great, that's what editors are for, right?
Yep. Yeah, and the beauty of it, technology now is A's got a lot smarter. Remember back in the day, you had Dragon Naturally Speaking, and how to deal with that and how horrible the accuracy was. And look at where it is now. It's gotten so much better. I mean, look at your Android phone, your iPhone. It may not be perfect accuracy, but it's a lot better than 10 or 15 years ago. So I have a very unique perspective because my job is to make sure that you can do your job. Yeah. So we all want to get to the food store, but we still have to drive there. So I get to sit there and play, nerdy Matt, automaker, even though don't go to Detroit because they're on strike right now. So, but yeah, so I get it. And so that's why I go over these tools, because most people don't realize it and how important backup is, because there's always the what if in life, especially with technology. So
yeah, in fact, I had a client who she had a series of workshops she wanted to turn into a book. So she actually did the workshops, recorded them, had them transcribed, went to the workshop participants and said, I loved your stories. Can I use your stories in my book as examples? Whoever said yes, they landed up in the book. And then she had an editor, moi, work through it and turn the workshops into chapters. And there's 7 workshops, 7 chapters, lots of stories to choose from. And she did have to write and work with me and getting it polished up, but it was super easy, and she made money teaching workshops and she got stories out of it. So being creative about how you get your book done is I think that's what you want to do. You want to get really creative about how you get your book done, and tech will help you.
yes.
And Melody, oh, go ahead, Matt.
No, go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry. I cut you off like a moil. So
Love it. Melody, one of the things I like to do is take a book and turn it into a workbook. And the secret, I don't know if you know this, but I just put in blank pages with lines and magic, and I turned it to 8.5 by 11, and suddenly the book yeah, it's not going to work today. The book becomes the workbook.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about the artist way doing that, right? This is a great way to continue to sell more books. And you talked about, book clubs, right? Give them, a journal for all the books they're going to read that year. And yeah, brilliant.
So the tech is amazing. There's so much there. But my heart is always keep it super simple. Melody, I had this photographer poet compilation they were working on, and their previous person said you have to do it in the paid professional version of Illustrator, and neither one of them knew how to do it, and they're both really intimidated. And I looked at what they were producing, and I just said, why aren't you just copying and pasting your pictures into Word? And they both went, we can do that. So
yeah, simple. Just
keep it
exactly
simple.
what you're saying. And I like that you say keep it super simple, because the other version, I've never really liked that other version.
Well, in
So
my kids' elementary school, the word stupid was a swear word. So if they heard me say keep it simple, stupid, I'd get flagged by both my kids. So I said, keep it super simple. And they went, okay.
I like that. I like keep it super simple. I like it much better, because it's
Well, the KISS principle should be nice, not mean, right?
Well, and sometimes people feel really tender because they've been told that over and over, right? And so you just don't know. You just don't know what everyone else has seen or felt or been exposed to. So
yeah.
Sure.
Well, Melody, I can highly encourage you to have a chat with Matt and put him on your podcast.
Yeah, Matt.
Fair warning, he's got some bad jokes, but they're all amazingly
I'll
bad.
expect some dad jokes. My email is in the chat, so it's there already.
it is. Let me see.
Yep.
I don't see it here, so I probably.
Oh, maybe you came in after.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll put it in again.
Yeah, by the way, just to make you aware, you're also trying to keep something simple that could be inherently complex. So, you have to sit there and to account for that. And it's if I thought it was easy, I would have spent almost 3 hours on SiteGround today. So
and you didn't tell us what SiteGround is. You used that word.
Yeah, SiteGround is a web hosting provider.
Thank you. Not everyone will know that, I think.
And I thought I explained it, but oh well, no worries. That's why I explained it again. So yes, and so even for me, getting to creative side is always a challenge for me. So you can't be afraid to fail and go out of your comfort zone. That's the only way you learn new technology and figure out what's going to work for you or what is not conducive for you. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's funny yesterday, Melody, because one of the writers was like, wait, I can hire somebody to do my tech. And it was just, you should have seen the look of relief. She was like, oh my God. It was like Matt was the second coming of bagels. Like she was just in love with him. And
I think of
Yeah,
bagels.
and it definitely was holy too.
That's brilliant. It's brilliant. I like that.
Exactly,
Second coming of bagels, except I'm going to change it to second coming of chocolate cake. But you know,
oh yeah, whatever serves you, Melody.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you for hanging out with me 2 days in a row. I swear, when you're ready and up on your feet, I am going to introduce you to everybody that needs to meet you, because my books are not for everyone, and I think you could really be a big help. So thank you.
thank you, Jeff. Thank you very much. I'll let you know when I'm walking again. Give me a couple months.
Take your time, do the physio. You can't shortcut that. So
No, I cannot. Anyways, brilliant. Well, thank you everyone for joining us in this room. I was
Thank
thrilled to
you.
be here. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jeff.
I'm sure.
We'll see you on the other side.
See you on
I
the
guess
other
we
side.
will.
Thanks, Lynette.
Uh-oh.
This might be trouble.
We're back again. How fun.
We might be trouble. Hi, everyone.
Just
Hi.
very quickly, the internet in my office went down during when you were talking earlier, Doreen. So don't think that I just it wasn't I didn't leave. The internet booted me.
Thank you. I just figured you were there yesterday, so you didn't need to be there today.
No. All of a sudden, I'm like, and then everyone starts running out of their offices. What happened to the internet?
Or basically job security for me. So
That's awesome.
So Jeff, are you the moderator then for us?
I'm officially the moderator. I'm here, I guess, to keep people out of trouble. So why don't we go around the room? I'm going to appoint Rich as unofficial moderator in my stead. I do need to go grab a drink and check on my kids, but I'll be back in like 2-3 minutes. So introduce yourselves and share your biggest golden nugget from this morning. I'll be right back.
Okay, so Chris, would you care to start off with that?
Did you say me? Oh, Chris.
Chris. Oh, Crystal. I would only
Thanks,
refer to
yeah.
you as Crystal. You don't strike me as a Chris. But Chris, on the other hand, does not strike me as a Crystal. You strike me as a Chris.
Okay, I've got a little background noise, so I'm not sure if you can hear me well. Yeah, this is my first summit with the other entrepreneurs. And gosh, I'm just taking in so much information, I don't even know where to start. So
And that's okay too.
I think just kind of getting grounded with where I am is kind of where I need to be, and really kind of taking in just the expertise. So I wasn't able to join yesterday, so I'm hoping to kind of join the Friday group, and as stuff comes up, have some expertise to call on. I'm getting, as I kind of get out and do more events, I'm definitely getting feedback from other people that want to be authors. So I feel like, there is a need to kind of put together a workshop to help other people. I have learned a lot along the way, but you know what? There's a whole lot more I don't know. So I'm definitely learned a lot, and I do want to share that. So this is an opportunity for me to get to, glean the gems of all your successes and what you've learned. So anyway, glad to be here.
Well, welcome. Thank you for being here. Sama, good morning. Or I guess, well, no, it's not good morning for anyone at this point, I guess, no?
No, I'm in Atlanta, Canada. So it's 3:36 my time. I wasn't able to join the other days. I'm actually a virtual producer that assists people who, like you authors, who like to do sessions online. So a virtual producer helps you in the background so that you don't have to worry about the breakout rooms, people going in and out. So I've just joined, and I'm curious to hear what topics or authors that each of you represent. So thank you.
Well, thanks, and thanks for being here with us. Nikki, good morning. Good afternoon. It's
Good
only morning for
afternoon.
Crystal.
You're still in the past. I actually just hopped on at the tail end of the last room that Joanna was speaking, and she had mentioned that she's a chief wellness officer and she is also a chief happiness officer, and I found that interesting and wanted to learn more. So that was something new that I learned.
Excellent.
But I was here yesterday. There was so many just takeaways and golden nuggets. One of which was a Russo intro method that for when you're introducing yourself at networking events. Michael Whitehouse had shared it, and he said that you say to the person, you know how, and then you finish the sentence with the person's problem. Like, you know how people just get in their own way. And then you go to what I do is, and you finish the sentence with the solution, and then you just stop talking, and then you let them speak. So I thought that was pretty brilliant.
It is brilliant. I love that. Excellent. Crystal, good morning. Where are you, by the way?
Thank you. I am in Maui, Hawaii, and it is 8:30 here. So it is morning time.
Okay.
So thanks for the morning greeting.
Aloha.
I don't know if I can narrow it down to one thing. I think the biggest thing that I have, the one nugget from this is like, we truly are not alone. There is a network of good people that have amazing advice that can support us. And Janine has told me many times, whenever she gets stuck, she's like, I need a solution to this problem, and somebody will pop in her head and she'll call them and she'll get the solution. And now meeting all of you wonderful people, it's like, yes, there is a network. There are people. There's somebody who knows somebody. Like Janine introduced me to Jeff, and now Jeff knows a whole bunch of other people, right? Like, there's somebody who knows somebody who can help me with whatever I need.
That's awesome. That's the power of networking. That's the power of good people doing good things together. Yeah, good job. Brandy, good. Is it good afternoon?
It is good afternoon. It's
Okay.
2:39 in the afternoon. I'm in Ohio. So for me, I'm officially a virgin to the author world.
Oh,
I'm
you're
not
going to finish that. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I know. I just wanted to pause and make people like, what in the world? Okay, we're paying attention now. Great. I'm not officially an author yet. I've written a book, but I haven't published it as of yet. I still have a lot of things I would like to add to it. And
Jeff,
so
what do you
that's,
got to say about that?
yeah, that's
Brandy,
definitely.
if I can give you one gift, you
Sure.
are an author, my dear.
Okay. Well,
If
thank
you write, you are an author. Publishing is like the least of the problems. It's if not for authors, publishing would not exist. So I'd like you to say I am an author.
Brandy, well, I'm an author. Yes.
Yay. I love it, Brandy. Sorry to interrupt, but it had to be said. Tough love.
It's okay. I appreciate you. Thank you, guys. I'm glad to be here. One thing I learned a lot so far, but what I wanted to highlight was just being a good listener when I'm speaking and doing speaking engagements for the future, and just being able to listen to people. So, talking and then really honing in on what they're saying and what their need is as well. And so, yeah, that's one of the things I'm interested in, and definitely interested in getting, just kind of putting some different ideas and options out there and seeing what people are interested in learning from what I have to share.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Mr. Matt, our computer man.
Well, hello there, Bubula. I just wanted to say Lashana Tova to you and your family. And for those of you who don't know what that means, basically today starts the new Jewish year, and I have my new resolutions, about to embark on. And so definitely a time of reflection for me in my life based on, the day that's about to occur and the holidays about to occur tonight. So for me, very much like Brandy, I'm a virgin, or I feel like one. I need to be authorly deflowered. How's that for a terminology there? So
I'm digging it.
yeah, so I am new to helping authors when it comes to the IT side. So because of Ginny and Tasha and their summit, I had to learn a whole bunch of new methodologies on how the IT and technical side helps authors, whether it be different collaboration tools, website backups, AI, different authoring platforms, especially with Amazon being as big as it is, and how as a tech I can help an author to use their technology and the resources that are out there, even AI, to help you get the most out of writing books, spreading your work, proofing, plagiarism, what have you. So I definitely went to school this week, old school, new school, preschool, and even high school. So it was quite the intriguing experience for me.
Matt, I
Thank
can't
you,
help
Matt.
but notice your bookless.
Yes. My handwriting is so atrocious. That's why the inverted word processor.
Love it.
Okay, well, thank you on that one. And we can get you fully booked. I know a guy. Philippa, good afternoon. Hi, welcome.
Good evening, I think.
Good evening, actually, for me. Yes, it is. I am calling in from Sweden, Stockholm. So it is quarter to 9 on a Friday evening, joining you here from the other side of the pond. So thank you very much.
And Philippa, you can go to other rooms. I just saw you come in and I snagged you. So sorry, Tasha. I just wanted to say hi. I haven't seen Philippa in a long time. So.
Oh no, it's brilliant. It's absolutely fabulous. And this is the first time I've jumped into the summit. So, and I'm going to be speaking in like quarter of an hour. So it's like, I want to get a feeling of the vibe, what's happening. So it's perfect, Jeff. Thank you. Love the background that you've got as well. Just really cool. Can you pull those off the wall as well? Or is that just Janine that can pull them off the wall?
Janine's the magic one. I'm just the show up and do what I'm told guy. So
right. Okay,
coach.
great. Well, I see I've got the right color on. It's the green Authorpreneur's
fabulous.
HQ look, yeah.
Yep.
Right down to the nails.
Awesome.
Oh, that's just lovely.
So Philippa has recently published her first book.
Nice.
Or is it first?
Well, actually, no. We're going to say we are in the process of publishing or writing and publishing. So I'm not quite finished yet because I ended up making a little bit of a break because I've launched my Wiseacious Women's Community and my podcast and my blog all at once. And this week I'm launching my Etsy shop. So the finalization of my first book, which is this, has been put on hold just for a couple of months while I'm getting all of this in place. Because my creative energy needed to get this out there. So it's all go 2023 for me.
Good.
The cheeky fun room, and Rich is helping me run it. So
thanks for joining us all the way from Sweden. And Dr. Doreen.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Doreen, talk to us as if you haven't been already.
Yes. Well, hello. Yes. I wanted to say to Nikki that on my podcast, Find Your Voice, Change Your Life, Joanna was one of the guests. She was the early guest, number 25, and I put a link in the chat. So if you want to know more about Joanna, she's in there, and interviewed Jeff recently, and he'll be there pretty quick too. So it's the Find Your Voice, Change Your Life podcast. So yes, I'm a podcaster, but I'm also author of The 7 Secrets to Essential Speaking. I'm a psychologist, and I work with authors to help them find their speaking voice. You got techniques around how to get words on a page, but how do you actually speak up in any situation like I did this morning, where I was asked, because yesterday's presentation wasn't recorded and the speaker for today didn't show up, I was asked to, just like that, get on and give a 45-minute presentation, which I loved. And it was very spontaneous. And so that idea of your book is inside of you. It's the essence of who you are, and how to tap into that and be able to speak from there as opposed to the script. Yesterday I had more of a script, as it turns out. Today was a little more fun. Thank you.
And lipstick free.
Yeah, no lipstick, no makeup, no backdrop.
Doreen, can I say thanks for introducing me to your podcast? I started listening to the episodes and I am like obsessed with it. So thank you so much for what you do.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. And Brandy mentioned she was in my workshop earlier, and she learned a little bit about how to be a listener instead of just a speaker.
Yeah.
My name is Rich Breyer, and I am.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was yeah, just making sure that I was present with my information. And my name is Rich Beyer, and I am going to call on Linda.
Sorry, I wasn't able to attend yesterday, but I have been enjoying today immensely. I work very closely with Jeff. We've just published, I think, our first joint book, co-authored book, Cash Flow Club, which I'm really excited about. And Jeff invited me here because I'm also writing genealogy books and family books. So yeah, thanks a lot, Jeff, for including me.
This is a beautiful, beautiful community. So Linda shared one of her short stories with me, and it was eerie how similar my childhood was. So we have some fun there. Yeah, and Crystal, you need to talk to Dr. Doreen and be on her show, because a lot of what she talks about is the childhood stuff. So I feel like that would be a fun conversation for you two.
Well,
Right.
we've already connected around that.
Well, then
Awesome.
can
To be featured soon.
Yay.
Upcoming.
then can I put the
The
spotlight
lady from Hawaii.
on James Hipkin, please?
It is.
You know how digital marketing is like overwhelming and tremendously confusing? What I do is help business owners and authors see sanity in digital marketing and bring value to their clients or customers and bring value to themselves.
Concise. I like that point.
White House.
And
Just
Nikki,
a
did you
shout out.
notice what I did there?
I sure did.
I've known
love it.
I've known Michael Whitehouse for a long, long time, and I'm one of his biggest fans.
Yeah, it's very smart starting with a question, because people are like sifting and sorting in their mind, like, yeah, I know how.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
it's also smart because one of the most fundamental aspects of marketing is recognizing that it's as important to repel as it is to attract. And by making a statement like that, you're making it very clear to the people who might be interested in what you have to say that this is for them. And you're also honestly making it very clear for folks who are perhaps not there yet that, and it's not judgment, it just helps people.
I agree. I mean, one of the worst things is to get into business or to get into a relationship with somebody that it's just not the right fit. You know,
Right.
and you look back at all the red signals, because vision, hindsight's 20/20.
Yep.
So good for you. That's awesome.
Well, it's also really important that aspect that speaks to humility and how important humility is. I remember being on a plane. We were flying from Chicago to Kansas City to meet with one of our clients, the client that I was managing, and the CEO of the agency was sitting next to me in the plane. And he smiled at me at one point and said, "James, recognize that not everyone's going to believe your bullshit." And that reinforcement of the importance of humility, and that you're just one voice in that stuck with me for many, many years, and it's an important thing.
It's awesome. That's just great. Thank you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you can't teach humility. Either you have it or you don't. And for those who know me well enough, realize I'm very much a humble Hebrew. So, and
Humble Hebrew, a
Yes.
humble
Do you
Hebrew
have, do you
hottie.
have a sense of humor?
It depends on how dry it is. You know, my analogy yesterday was, unless it's as dry as the Sahara Desert, it's not dry enough for me. I'm from Jersey. I have the attitude. So, don't tempt me. It's all I'm gonna tell you. Like for example, you have like the warning signs, be hazardous to your health. You've been forewarned.
Yes. Well, I have my IT joke that I like to tell about, why was the IT department created?
Why?
So that complicators would have a place to work.
Exactly. Well, exactly. And technology is inherently, complicated and, mediocre to say the least. So, but also
I have absolutely no future in IT. I can tell you, because I am all about simplify.
Yeah, the problem with IT is you can't make something inherently simple that's inherently complex. And the other thing I'll allude to what you, James, said as well. To me, I consider all this networking speed dating for professionals. That's what it is. Can you sit there and love somebody or like somebody enough to want to work with them and have a relationship with them? Because even if it's professional, it's still a relationship, nevertheless.